everybody. Welcome back to a Borderlands 2 video. As you guys know, I haven't uploaded in a few days. The schedule should be pretty much back to normal now. I did mention in my last video that I would be really busy this weekend. I had a wedding to attend to, and I also was quite busy with schoolwork and other things, so I didn't really have time to upload, but things should be pretty much back on track going forward. And I will let you guys know, as I did previously, if something is subject to change. But anyway, today we're going to be looking at a Thoughtlock Maya build. Um, so we'll go ahead and get into the gear. The gear is pretty standard. Becca, one of my favorite Maya weapons. It's just quite strong. The Butcher, I like this one a good bit. With Thoughtlock, it kind of allows you to get into the fray a little bit more, get a little bit more close range because of the aggro relief that you get from Thoughtlock. I find it a bit easier to get in their face. So a shotgun is pretty nice for this build. And then we have the bitch. It's just a good weapon, fun to use. You don't have to use this, of course, but it's a solid weapon. Then the bada boom in case we go down. There are, of course, alternatives here, and even during the video, I may end up switching if I find something to be more or less effective. So, yeah, there's plenty of options. Next, we have the blockade. This is just a good survivability shield. Not much to say. Quasar, I think, is going to help us keep things grouped together. Does good damage. Just good for general mobbing purposes. Firebone of the Ancients. Uh, I'm going to be running probably through Bloodshot Stronghold, so there'll be a lot of flesh enemies to tear through. May do Southpaw, but it's been super buggy for me lately. Every time I go through there, it ends up bugging out at 1E or One, whatever you want to call him, and it won't let me progress. So yeah, it's a bit annoying. And then for the Thoughtlock build, we're actually going to be running the Legendary Binder. Want to get the most out of Phase Lock, or well, Thoughtlock in this case. Make sure we have the most uptime on it and getting the most use out of it. Plus, the binder's just a cool comm. You can use this with regular Phase Lock too, and it's pretty effective. But we're going to be using it today with Thoughtlock. Make sure we are getting the most out of it, most out of the duration and everything. So, let's go ahead and start. We'll actually go with the green and red tree first because they're the most important, and then we'll finish up in the blue tree. Alright, so let's take Ward. I always get this skill. It's just good for survivability. Next, Suspension. I always take this skill too, but it's especially good because it's boosted by 5 by our comm, but it's also great with a build that we're going to be relying upon our action skill. So I definitely make sure to grab that. Converge, still good with Thoughtlock. Bring all those enemies in together, and it'll still apply Ruin with Thoughtlock and all other Phase Lock / Thoughtlock buffs. So it's definitely still worth it. Now, I'll grab 1 point in Kinetic Reflection just for that 100% deflection chance with decent damage reduction and deflected bullet damage, and then I'll pump the rest into Inertia. This is just a good survivability and DPS skill. Definitely going to want Quicken. We want highest cooldown uptime as possible. We want to be using Thoughtlock as plenty. And then this one I think is where it will be controversial. You could go back and finish Inertia and Kinetic Reflection until you can unlock Thoughtlock, but I'm actually going to take Subsequence. I actually do think it's still pretty good with Thoughtlock, and you'll still get procs out of it. This one's, I think, preference, though, for sure. I wouldn't do it if you're not using the binder. I think this is just a particularly nice skill with any Phase Lock oriented or Thoughtlock oriented build, so it's up to you. And then, of course, Thoughtlock, which turns their friends on each other. And this is really nice because it functions more of aggro relief than anything. You can, Thoughtlock the enemy, and then all of their friends will start attacking that guy, and then you sort of have a lot more control over the battlefield. You're not getting hurt as much. And then, yeah, it's pretty good. Honestly, you can kill the guy that you Thoughtlock immediately if you want. There are some enemies where you may want to leave them Thoughtlocked because they're strong and they can actually help you kill some stuff, like maybe ultimate badasses or surveyors will actually heal you if you can Thoughtlock them, which is pretty cool. And yeah, there's some weird interactions there, but I'd say generally speaking, you can probably treat it like Phase Lock. You just shoot the person that you Thoughtlocked and then let it switch to keep proccing all the other Phase Lock buffs with Subsequence like Helios, Ruin, etc. So up to you how you want to use it. I think it's viable either way. Now let's go over to the red tree. Foresight's good damage buff, and since The binder boosts Helios by 5. It's one of the few cases where the damage might actually be noticeable. Usually 5 points is not really enough, even with the UCP, which is what we're using. The damage is not impressive, but with 10 points, it should actually be doing some pretty good damage. It's not going to be too bad. So we will actually take it. And Cloud Kill, just a great damage skill. Chain Reaction still works. We still want it. It's still very nice to get that ricochet chance. And then we're going to max Reaper, huge gun damage bonus. It's nice that the binder boosts this. And then we have a few more points to get down to Ruin. Immolate or Flicker are pretty much your choices here. I don't really know that we need either one particularly. I think I'd rather have Immolate in case I go down. And then of course Ruin. This still works with Thoughtlock, so definitely want that. It's a great slagging tool. So yeah, moving on. I don't think 10 points in a sweet release is necessary. 5 is plenty, so just putting 1 gives you 6. That's really all you need. You will be plenty healed. We'll put 4 into Mind's Eye. Good damage buff. Max Rec, huge DPS buff. Absolutely must get this one. And then on the UCP, the res gives you 5 for your lifetime plus 35%, so that's definitely worthy of consideration. And for that reason, I will take it. Then the rest go into Elated. If you are not playing co-op, or if you're not on the UCP, just put 5 into Elated. That's probably your best option. And then we have some options here. I will probably go ahead and max Elated in Mind's Eye to progress the tree. And then dip a few into Sustenance. And then dip a few into Life Tap. Neither one of these skills needs to be maxed to provide you with a lot of survivability. Sustenance can give you some pretty good value with just a few points, and same with Life Tap. That 3.6% is actually substantial after getting a kill. You will heal very, very quickly. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This is what we'll leave the build at, and we will go ahead and jump into the gameplay. Alright, we are back. Here is the gear one more time. And one more thing I forgot to mention, in the vanilla game, Thoughtlock will actually say that it increases the cooldown of the action skill. That's actually not true. UCP removes that line of text because it actually doesn't do it. It does not increase the cooldown. So keep that in mind. But anyway, let's go ahead in here. See what happens. This guy, yeah. So now they're attacking him. It's very nice. You kind of just have free reign. Did he get slagged? Yeah. Very nice. Yeah. That was just pretty much free reign over the battlefield there. They didn't really touch me. Very nice. Well, wait a second. Make sure I have phase lock or Thoughtlock for the next room. I'm not really used to using Thoughtlock, to be honest. It's rare that I run it, but it is honestly not that bad, and I figured I'd give it some justice, give it a try. All right, let's see who we've got in this room. We'll just throw it on him. Try to pull them up. There we go. Okay, so they're dead. It's gonna be a little hard to kill them without slag since I don't have Scorn. Pull them down. Nice. Oh. Nice. Cool, cool. So what I do like about Thoughtlock is that it has the potential to control more than one person on the battlefield, which phase lock doesn't really. When I phase lock one person with this, everyone in the room is now attacking that person pretty much. Ooh, that actually probably just saved me from getting exploded on. Alright. Let's wait a second so we can Thoughtlock this big boy. That's kind of funny. Just, it's not even considered an enemy. as you can see. And yeah, still a pretty easy kill. Now, one of the obvious downsides is it can be a little bit harder to aim. He just absolutely demolished that guy though. He killed him from pretty much full to zero in about 2 hits. Can't really see, but I'll tell you what, I do actually really like Thoughtlock against his ultimate badass nomads because I actually have trouble killing them even with phase lock because they don't put their shield down. I'm noticing that with Thoughtlock, they actually put the shield down and let me shoot their face. That's actually pretty cool. Neat little interaction that I wasn't really aware of. Let's see what happens if I just Thoughtlock him, pull them all together. Do a little bit of suppressing fire. But like, this is a phenomenal amount of aggro control. Like, nobody's even really looking at me. Yeah, it can definitely be a bit harder to aim at certain enemies. They're beating the crap out of each other, so it kind of works. And enemies that are Thoughtlocked and kill another enemy will proc your kill skills. Oh man, he's gonna slide. He's gonna be hard to kill. Yeah, those guys are definitely annoying. Alright. And not having access to Scorn makes the process a little bit slower. Because I don't have slag all the time, but I'm patient. It's fine. You could definitely run a slag weapon too if that suits your fancy. Nice. Yeah, the binder boosts some great damage skills too. That's what I like about this build. 10 into Reaper and Wreck is a monstrous DPS buff. Like, that's no joke. It's definitely on the higher end. Cool, a lot of grenades here. Let's see. What do we have? Oh no. Actually, let's see if he'll go blow up his friend. No? Oh, alright. He's not like suiciding for whatever reason, but... yeah, that'll work. I was just curious. I bet they will if you get them in the right position. Maybe not though. Like, maybe there's a thing with Thoughtlock where enemies can't kill themselves. Like, I wonder what would happen if I did it on an exploder. Maybe someone in the comments has some more experience with Thoughtlock. Okay. Try to pull them together so they're attacking each other. There. Oh, see, this is where subsequence can suck. I don't know, like, why out of all the targets it would choose to try to seek upwards. It's like 10 targets right there. Let's try to use it on this ultimate badass. See if he'll do anything. Nice. This is why I would recommend the shotgun though. It is harder to hit things, so you just need to be able to get up close and do damage, rather than like stand back and shoot them where you would with phase lock. It's going to be harder to hit them. I think it's going to have trouble getting up there. Oh no, I think it actually did make it up there. I wasn't sure if it would or not. Really hard to shoot him. Oh, come on. Nice. Hopefully that, at the very least, that Bone Crusher that's Thoughtlock over there is giving me all my buffs. Nice. Nice. Good job. Nice. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the aggro control that we get from this, for sure. Whoa. What was that? Just a bunch of grenades or something? God, he's fast. Oh. The mud. do their thing for a moment. Guys got an annoying weapon. Oh crap, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Where's subsequence go? Yeah, see, this is scenarios where I don't like subsequence. It's just wasting my cooldown. I do think it can be quite useful, but we have to be careful. Oh my. Alright, there we go. Nice. These guys really suck. Alright, a little low on ammo here. Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe we would be better off without subsequence. I think too often it's wasting the cooldown. Like, this is obviously not helpful at all. Alright. Oh, that guy's got a scary gun. Nice. Pretty good stuff. And that is a situation where I do like Thoughtlock. So it's a bit of a give or take, honestly. Or give and take. Get a little ammo. Oh. Not bad at all. Cool. Yeah, so it's far from being bad. It is definitely different, though. I think in some scenarios it's better, in some scenarios it's worse. The aggro control is no joke, though. I'm actually surprised at just how often they're only attacking the Thoughtlocked enemy and completely ignoring me. It's interesting. I didn't expect that level of aggro control. Bit of a longer video, because I'm kind of going through slow and making sure we're getting the most out of Thoughtlock, but so far I'm pretty impressed. It's not bad. Subsequence, I think this video should sort of give you the idea of if you want to use it or not. It has some bonuses. I'll get him now. Nice. We'll let them come up to us so we have our cooldown. Oh. Oh, hello. Nice. Alright, I'll try to finish him off while they... Yeah, he basically killed that guy for me, and then it allowed me to kill him at the same time. I was hoping it could... Yeah, I think it procced. No, it didn't. It's not slagged. Get him in a second, though. Nice. Yeah, those guys are actually easier to kill with Thoughtlock, almost certainly.
Hold it.
Start the chain going. Maybe try to pull them in.
Stop.
Very nice. Let's try to wait a little bit longer. We got a lot of enemies we could use it on here. Oh. Nice. There we go. Nice. Certainly did a lot there. Subsequence just pulling them all together. The binder definitely helps with the cooldown, and of course the Bone of the Ancients quicken. Like without subsequence, this would probably work fine too. You'd be spamming it quite often. Let's just see what happens here. Okay, that already got me a kill. And yeah, they're just fighting each other. Very nice. Yeah. The combo of, you know, of course the enemy that's Thoughtlocked hitting their own enemies, that does very solid damage on OP10 because enemies hit hard. Helios, Cloudkill, and Ruin, they're all just kind of hitting each other in the same area, standing in it, and just eating damage. Yeah, I like it. Overall, this is a pretty strong build. I think Thoughtlock can be really cool in co-op too, and one of my next videos I actually plan to show like a four-player build, and I'm probably going to have the Thoughtlock Maya build involved with that. So yeah, guys, I think the only thing that I would consider changing here is subsequence, and I think that's player preference. If you like it, roll with it. There's scenarios where it's going to suck, and there's scenarios where it's going to be great. So keep that in mind. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.